Morning, all. All right. So, in my continuing look at the NHL's history, we're up to the 2017-2018 season. Five teams in the Metro make it, three teams in the Atlantic, four teams in both the Central and Pacific make it. Of course, this is the first year for Vegas. We will be talking about the Vegas Golden Knights, obviously, but also it is the one time in this history series that I can wear a Washington jersey, at least until now. Just saying, because there's always the chance in the coming years, sure, they might win another. But they finished 49, 26, and 7 that season. They did win the Metro with 105 points, 259 goals scored, 239 goals against. Alex Ovechkin, the captain there. Pittsburgh finishes second again. They had the previous two seasons as well, 100 points. 47, 29, and 6 record, 272 goals scored, 250 goals against. Sidney Crosby, the captain of Pittsburgh. Philadelphia, 42, 26, and 14 record, 98 points, 251 goals scored, 243 goals against. Claude Giroux, the captain in Philadelphia. The Columbus Blue Jackets finished 45, 30, and 7 on the season, 97 points, 242 goals scored, 230 goals against. Nick Foligno, the captain in Columbus. The New Jersey Devils, they win that race for that final spot with Florida. 44, 29, and 9 record, 97 points, 248 goals scored, 244 goals against. Andy Green, the captain in New Jersey. Carolina misses the playoffs, record of 36, 35, and 11, 83 points, 228 goals scored, 256 goals against. Justin Falk, the captain in Carolina. The New York Islanders, 35, 37, and 10 record for 80 points, 264 goals scored, 296 goals against. John Tavares, the captain in New York. Of course, eventually he ends up in Toronto as the captain, but don't want to get ahead of myself here. The New York Rangers, 34, 39, and 9 record, 77 points, 231 goals scored, 268 goals against. Ryan McDonough, the captain for the New York Rangers at that time. The Atlantic is won by Tampa. They finished 54, 23, and 5, 113 points, 296 goals scored, 236 goals against. Steven Stamkos, the captain in Tampa Bay. Boston finishes 50, 20, and 12, 112 points, 270 goals scored, 214 goals against. Zdeno Chara, the captain in Boston. Toronto, they make the playoffs again, 105-point season, 49, 26, and 7 record, 277 goals scored, 232 goals against. No captain named in Toronto as of yet. The Florida Panthers just narrowly missed the playoffs, record of 44, 30, and 8, 96 points, 248 goals scored, 246 goals against. Derek McKenzie, the captain in Florida. All the talk about taxes and it's not fair, it's not fair. It wasn't helping him then because good management is when the tax break helps a little bit. Detroit, 30, 39, and 13 record, 73 points, 217 goals scored, 255 goals against. Henrik Zetterberg, the captain in Detroit at that time. The Montreal Canadiens finished 29, 40, and 13, 71 points, 209 goals scored, 264 goals against. Max Pacioretty, the captain in Montreal. The Ottawa Senators had a disastrous season. 28, 43, and 11 record, 67 points, 221 goals scored, 291 goals against. Erik Karlsson's the captain. And yeah, it's just an absolute nightmare of a season. It was envisioned to be something a lot more than that, coming off the 2017 playoff run, but not to be. Buffalo, 25, 45, and 12 record, 62 points, 199 goals scored, 280 goals against. No captain in Buffalo at this time. In the Central and overall for the league, your number one team is Nashville that year. So coming off the Cinderella run to the final in 2017, they finished with 117 points. 53, 18, and 11 record, 267 goals scored, 211 goals against. Roman Josi, the captain in Nashville. Winnipeg, 52, 20, and 10 record, 114 points, so they were second overall. 277 goals scored, 218 goals against. Blake Wheeler, the captain for the Winnipeg Jets. Minnesota, 45, 26, and 11 record, 101 points, 253 goals scored, 232 goals against. Mikko Koivu, the captain for the Minnesota Wild. Colorado makes the playoffs. Barely. They just beat out St. Louis. I think that was on the last night of the season, too. 43, 30, and 9 record, 95 points, 257 goals scored, 237 goals against. Gabriel Landeskog, the captain for the Avs. St. Louis, 44, 32, and 6 record, 94 points, 226 goals scored, 222 goals against. Alex Pietrangelo, the captain for the Blues. Dallas, 42-32-8 record, 92 points, 235 goals scored, 225 goals against. Jamie Benn, the captain in Dallas. Chicago crashes after that 2017 meltdown in the first round against Nashville. 33-39-10 record for 76 points, 229 goals scored, 256 goals against. Jonathan Toews, the captain in Chicago. The Pacific is won by Vegas, which throws everybody. 51-24-7 record, 109 points, 272 goals scored, 228 goals against. No captain needed for Vegas that year, the Band of Misfits. Now, I will talk more about this, but nobody thought they were going to be a good team on the day of their expansion. Anaheim, 44-25-13 record for 101 points, 235 goals scored, 216 goals against. Ryan Gensel, the captain for the Anaheim Ducks. The San Jose Sharks, 45-27-10 record for 100 points, 252 goals scored, 229 goals against. Joe Pavelski, the captain for the Sharks. LA finishes 45-29-8 for 98 points, 239 goals scored, 203 goals against. Anze Kopitar, the captain for the Kings. The Calgary Flames, 37-35-10 record, 84 points, 218 goals scored, 248 goals against. Mark Giordano, the captain for the Flames. The Oilers, 36-40-6 record, 78 points, 234 goals scored, 263 goals against. Connor McDavid, the captain already for the Edmonton Oilers. The Vancouver Canucks, 31-40-11 record, 73 points, 218 goals scored, 264 goals against. Henrik Sedin, the captain for the Canucks. The Arizona Coyotes, 29-41-12 record, 70 points, 208 goals scored, 256 goals against, and no captain for the Coyotes that season. So, that's your standings. We get into what was going on that year. April 3rd of 2017, the NHL announces they will not send players to the 2018 Olympics. And it's been a sticking point with players for a while, and now the NHL going back to the 2026 games, I think is a good indication that relationships got better between the league and the union, but we shall see. The salary cap increases to $75 million that season, and also the NHL decides to start enforcing slashing rules, which is, that's nice to start enforcing the rules that are on the books. It's the most frustrating thing about watching hockey is that they don't enforce the rules the same at all times. Just sort of like, well, it's the third period. We're not going to call that now. Anyways, Vegas breaks expansion records with the Band of Misfits. The wins, the points, and everything. But we'll get into how that gets set up, at least in part. November 2nd of 2017, Joe Thornton, still playing with the Sharks, is the 20th player in NHL history to reach 1,400 points. So, excellent career for Jumbo Joe. December 21st of 2017, Hitchcock, who is behind the bench for the Dallas Stars. Ken Hitchcock, of course, was behind their bench when they won the Cup in 99. He's back behind the bench here, and he becomes the third coach to reach 800 wins in his NHL career. March 12th of 2018, Alex Ovechkin records his 600th career NHL goal. June 23rd of 2017, the Chicago Blackhawks trade Artemi Panarin, Tyler Mott, and a 2017 sixth to Columbus for Brandon Saad, Anton Forsberg, and a 2018 fifth-round draft pick. This is a trade that really helps Columbus. Doesn't help Chicago at all, as you can see from how they did in the standings for the 2017-2018 season. June 21st of 2017, the Ducks trade Shea Theodore to Vegas for expansion considerations. So this is why Vegas was good. GMs went, well, we don't want to lose that player, that veteran we want to keep. We'll trade these young guys. We'll trade these players that maybe haven't quite developed yet. We're not overly worried, or hey, we can get them to take a bad contract off our hands. And it didn't work well either, because on that same day, the Wild trade Alex Tuch to Vegas for a third-round draft pick, which was to protect one of their other players. It's for expansion considerations as well, right? Also on June 21st, the Panthers trade Riley Smith to Vegas for a 2018 fourth-round draft pick, and on the agreement that they would take Jonathan Marchessault in his contract with them. So the Florida Panthers, who missed the playoffs by 1 point, decide Riley Smith and Marchessault need to go, and that's 2/3 of the top line for Vegas. Shea Theodore, of course, one of their best defensemen throughout their history. Teams really helped Vegas out. I don't think that was their intention, but they did. So that's a big part of the reason why Vegas was excellent out of the gate. Like Pittsburgh deciding, well, Fleury's going to go to Vegas because we don't want to lose Matt Murray, so we're going to keep him and let Vegas take Fleury. It is a bizarre thing that was done where NHL teams basically decided which players were going to go to Vegas. Then Vegas is really, really good, and everybody gets mad at Vegas for being good. The anger should reside with the GMs who made those deals with Vegas that aged really poorly. Um, November 5th of 2017, there's a three-way deal made between Nashville, Ottawa, and Colorado. And Colorado makes out like bandits in this. They get Sam Girard, they get Shane Bowers, a 2019 first-round draft pick, which became Bowen Byram. They get Kamenev as well, a 2018 second-round pick, a 2019 third-round pick, and Andrew Hammond. And all it cost them was Matt Duchene going to Ottawa. Kyle Turris goes to Nashville in this deal. So Turris and Duchene didn't really perform the way that I think the teams wanted them to. Got them. And looking back, both Nashville and Ottawa gave up a lot to Colorado in all this. And the Avs made out pretty darn well. February 26th of 2018, the Wings trade Thomas Tatar to Vegas for a 2018 first, a 2019 second, and a 2021 third round draft pick. This is maybe the one bad trade that Vegas made, but they would try to make up for it by moving him. They pick up Pacioretty not long after that in that trade. So, yeah, it's just a bizarre season in that the one bad move was picking up Tatar, but they rectified that by moving him out that summer. The Art Ross goes to Connor McDavid that year of the Oilers. The Masterton goes to Brian Boyle of the New Jersey Devils. The Calder goes to Matthew Barzal of the New York Islanders. The Conn Smythe goes to Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. The Selke goes to Anze Kopitar of the LA Kings. The Hart Trophy goes to Taylor Hall of the New Jersey Devils, which a lot of people weren't all that happy with, but I totally understood why he won it that season. The Jack Adams goes to Gerard Gallant of the Vegas Golden Knights. The Norris Trophy goes to Victor Hedman of the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lady Byng goes to William Karlsson of the Vegas Golden Knights. The Ted Lindsay goes to Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers. The Rocket Richard Trophy goes to Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. The GM of the year, that's George McPhee of the Vegas Golden Knights, because of course it is. Honorable mention to all the GMs that helped set up Vegas to be pretty darn good that year. The Vezina goes to Pekka Rinne of the Nashville Predators because he's just too good at that point. The Jennings goes to Jonathan Quick of the LA Kings. The Kings only allowing 203 goals that season. Your league all-stars, Connor McDavid's first-team all-star at center. Nathan MacKinnon of Colorado, second-team all-star. On the left side, Taylor Hall of New Jersey is your first-team all-star. Claude Giroux of Philadelphia, second-team. On the right side, Nikita Kucherov of Tampa Bay's first team, and Blake Wheeler of the Jets, the second team. On the blue line, Drew Doughty of the LA Kings and Victor Hedman of Tampa Bay are first team. Second team, Seth Jones of Columbus and PK Subban of the Nashville Predators. In net, Pekka Rinne of Nashville's first team and Connor Hellebuyck of the Jets, second team All-Star. So, Connor McDavid is mentioned, Art Ross Trophy winner, 82 games, 41 goals, 67 assists, 108 points. Claude Giroux of Philadelphia, 82 games, 34 goals, 68 assists, 102 points. Nikita Kucherov in Tampa, 80 games, 39 goals, 61 assists, 100 points. So, we had 300 point scorers that season. Evgeny Malkin in Pittsburgh, 78 games, 42 goals, 56 assists, 98 points. Nathan MacKinnon of Colorado really hits his stride that season. 74 games, 39 goals, 58 assists, 97 points. Taylor Hall in New Jersey, 76 games, 39 goals, 54 assists for 93 points. Anze Kopitar in LA, 82 games, 35 goals, 57 assists, 92 points. Phil Kessel in Pittsburgh, 82 games, 34 goals, 58 assists, 92 points. Blake Wheeler in Winnipeg, 81 games, 23 goals, 68 assists for 91 points. And Sidney Crosby rounds out the top 10, 82 games, 29 goals, 60 assists for 89 points. Connor Hellebuyck and Andrei Vasilevsky lead the league in wins that year. Hellebuyck 44-11 and 9.924 save percentage, 6 shutouts. Vasilevsky in Tampa 44-17 and 3, 920 save percentage, 8 shutouts. Pekka Rinne in Nashville 42-13 and 4 record, 927 save percentage, also 8 shutouts. Freddie Anderson in Toronto 38-21 and 5 record, 918 save percentage, 5 shutouts. And Sergei Bobrovsky in Columbus, 37-22-6 record, 921 save percentage, and 5 shutouts. So we get to the playoffs. And again, these are relatively recent, right? Pittsburgh beats Philadelphia in the first round, 4-2. Boston, famously, infamously, depending on you decide you're on here, they beat Toronto in 7 games that season. Washington beats Columbus 4-2, and we didn't know, but this was the start of Washington's run. Columbus looked like they were in complete control of the series, and then it switched when they went from Grubauer to Holtby. Tampa Bay beats the New Jersey Devils 4-1. San Jose sweeps the Anaheim Ducks 4 straight games. Winnipeg beats Minnesota 4-1. Vegas sweeps the LA Kings, and Nashville beats Colorado 4-2. In the second round, Winnipeg beats Nashville in 7. That was an exciting series. Vegas beats San Jose 4-2, and the hatred begins in that series. Tampa Bay beats Boston 4-1 because that's a bad matchup for Boston. And Washington beats Pittsburgh 4-2 in what is usually a bad matchup for the Capitals. But that season, the Capitals get it done. They knock out the Penguins and go off to the conference final. In the conference final, out west first, Winnipeg wins at home the first game 4-2. Vegas wins the rest of the way. 3-1 in Winnipeg. Then they go home. They win 4-2 and 3-2 respectively. Then they go into Winnipeg and they win 2-1. They win the series 4-1. Once Vegas had control of game 2, the series was basically done. In the East, Washington wins in Tampa Bay both games by scores of 4-2 and 6-2. Then Tampa Bay goes into Washington, wins both games, both of them by the same score of 4-2. Tampa Bay wins at home 3-2 to go up 3-2. Washington decides, what if we don't allow any more goals? They win 3-0 in Game 6 and 4-0 in Game 7 to win the series in 7 games and get a Stanley Cup final no one picked ever. Before that season started, no. And before the playoffs started, the conversation was, and I was one of them, that the LA Kings were veterans. Vegas, it was a great run, but the veteran Kings had figured out a way to beat Vegas. Didn't happen. And in the final, by the time we reached the final, I was kind of like, you know what? Maybe Vegas is going to do it. Washington had a plan. Vegas wins the first game 6-4. That's where the happiness ends for Vegas. Washington wins the second game 3-2. Then Washington goes home. They win both games. Scores of 3-1 and 6-2. Then they go into Vegas. They win 4-3. They win the series 4-1. And to date, they win their only Stanley Cup. They've got the Stanley Cup patch right here on the jersey. So Riley Smith had 3 goals and 3 assists in the final. Florida got rid of him. Colin Miller, a goal and 3 assists. And Nosek had 3 goals in that final. Marc-Andre Fleury had a tougher time in the final than the rest of the playoffs. .853 save percentage for Fleury. Basically, that cross-crease pass and buried is the way that final played out as I remember it. Kuznetsov had a goal and 7 assists. I thought he should have won the Conn Smythe at the time. Backstrom, a goal and 6 assists. Ovechkin did have 3 goals and 2 assists in that final. Holtby had a .916 save percentage. Made the saves when he had to, including some highlight reel saves we still look at to this day. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.